Hello everybody, Sila here from Card Deck UK. One more time with a new episode today of our The Gospel According to Spiritism book that we are studying together. And right now we're chapter 5. We're in the midst of chapter 5. It's a long chapter, so we're talking about very important things. The name of the chapter is Blessed Are the Afflicted. So we're talking about karma, punishment, and the kind of thing that is not really the language we use, but is how people perceive those things. Before we get into it, I want to say a few things. As you know, I left really clear in the beginning of this channel. I'm not a big reader. I also have an accent, and yeah, and I'm trying to do the best I can. However, things been changing over the time. I really start enjoying reading this book, which I've been in studying the Kardec doctrine for a long time. When I was young, I was 15 years old, and I done so until I was 20, and then I moved to America, and I fade away. And now back here in the UK, I kind of have a call to go back to it, and that's why all the accent, all the stuff comes in place, comes in the play. And the reason why I decided to start reading this book is exactly because I start to take a step back, start again, fresh from the start. So I'm kind of reviewing everything from the past before we jump into more advanced things. But now, looking forward, what I want to do is finish this book, and then we can jump into another book from Allan Kardec. That's the Professor Luis Fernando say that's the north. That is the beginning of everything that is going on today. Of course, nowadays things are much more ahead of time. This is much more advanced, and we're talking about all the dimensions where the spirits come from. We are in the planetary transition, which means our planet is become house for more better spirits. Right now we still see evil. Of course, we see wars and stuff, but we are transitioning to a much better place. But we're not gonna talk about that now. This is all for the future. Right now we are still grounded on the roots of Spiritism, and I chose this book to start, The Gospel According to Spiritism, because I think here, outside of Brazil, people have visions of Spiritism in a very different light. It's very scientifical, which is not a bad thing, but because this book brings religion with the spirit doctrine, I want to bring a mix of both to people here in the UK, on the Europe, or outside of Brazil. Because in Brazil we grow up in just very mix of everything, mix of religions, mix of seeing all kind of things. So for us it's quite normal. Everything comes naturally because the upbringing we had there. But here it's different. So I think that's what I have to do, is bring this into light here, and hopefully you guys can all enjoy what I'm saying, and you guys can all learn from it as much as me, or more. All right, so let's go get to it. So we're talking chapter 5, Blessed Are the Afflicted. We just talk about there's two ways to afflictions happen in the present day. So we talk about some are brought by past lives, which are through reincarnation. When we reincarnation, let's say we did something really bad in the past life, and now we come back with something about what we done in the past that we have to repent in this life. For example, let's say somebody did something really bad to the lady neighbor, and stole money or whatever. Or even, let's go further, the person make the neighbor suffer like a lot in this life. That neighbor possibly is this person's mother or daughter or something like that. So you have to deal with this things you've done in the past. And I mean, I should not say something little. It's not little, but something like that. It's more bigger things, like somebody kill somebody, and now this person comes as a family member, a close family member in this life. So you have to deal with all this anger and all these problems that happen in the past life. Anyhow, so those are problems or afflictions that come from past lives, and then we have the present life afflictions, which means, as I say, our planet is moving on to become, is in transition to become a better planet to live, with the more elevated spirits incarnating now. So meaning we're here for a reason. We are not elevated enough to be in a better planet or in the worst. So now we are in transition. So we are, this is the most important incarnation, is do or die. Either you can come back to this planet, or you're gonna go to a lower level planet when you reincarnate, or you're gonna be like, hopefully some of us will be in the even better planet or dimension, or whichever way you believe. So what they're saying, that the afflictions of this time in this life is brought by our existence here in this planet, where things happen, where we are here to repent and learn and elevate ourselves. We are not there yet, so therefore things are going to happen, like such as war, and such as economic problems and other things that are, it's just happened that we are here to pass through this, and that's it. And this doesn't belong to a past life. It's just because we need that to grow. So moving forward, I'm gonna start reading. In my book's page 59, paragraph 8. Tribulations may be imposed on the spirits who are ignorant or who have become hardened, in order to induce them to make a choice with knowledge of what they're doing. Repentant spirits who wish to repay the evil they have committed and who desire to behave better are free to make their own choice, such as understands one spirit who, after having failed to complete a task, asks to be allowed to repeat it so as not to lose a benefit of his work. Therefore, tribulations are at the same time atonements for the past, for which we receive the deserved retribution, and also tests relating to the future, which we are preparing. We offer thanks to God, who is his goodness help man to repay his debts, and does not irrevocably condemn the first fault. So many things we have to do here, because when we reincarnated, before we reincarnated, there's a plan, and we, our souls, accept that to prove we're doing better. So if you were supposed to do something and you fail, that might happen again. They want to give you a second chance. So that's what it is. Following through, it is not to be taught, however, that all suffering just word denotes the existence of a determinate shortcoming. So, like I say, not everything is what I just say. Many times it is simply an ordeal requested by the spirit, which will help it towards purification and active progress. So, atonement is always a test, but a test is not always an atonement. Tests and atonements, though, are always sign of relative inferiority, as that which is perfect needs of no testing. Nevertheless, it is possible that a spirit, having reached a certain degree of elevation and being desirous of future progress, may request a mission to task to perform, by means of which he or she will be more or less compensated, depending on whether or not they are victorious. Sorry. And according to the difficulty of the request test. These then are those people who have naturally good instincts, whose souls are elevated, and who possess inborn sentiments. They apparently bring nothing from their past existence, and who, despite great torment, suffer with true Christian resignation, ask only that God help them to support their trials without complaining. On the other hand, we may consider as atonement those afflictions which provoke complaint and which cause revolt against God. So, beyond doubt, the suffering which does not provoke complaints can also be considered as atonement, but this indicates it was voluntarily sought rather than imposed. This constitutes a test of or strength of resolution, which in itself is a sign of progress. Furthermore, spirits cannot aspire to. Sorry, it's moving, isn't? There we go. Spirits cannot aspire to complete happiness till they have become pure. Any kind of stain prohibits enters into the blissful worlds. It is like a passengers on the plague ship who find themselves prohibited from entering port until they are undergone a cleansing. The imperfections of spirits are slowly overcome by means of various corporeal lives. The tribulations of life, when well supported, help them towards progress. They ease faults and find purification by means of atonement, which is the remedy which cleanses the sores and heals the sick. The more grave the atonement, which is remedy, the more grave illness, the more energetic must be the remedy. Therefore, those who suffer greatly must realize that they have most to atone for, and should rejoice in the proximity of the cure. It will depend on each one to take every advantage from suffering, by being resigned and not spoiling things with impatience, seeing that it be the case, they will have to begin all over again. So it's pretty much like a school when you pass to the next year and you just get better and better, yet you might be very naughty and you have to repeat the year. I don't know if that's true in all countries, but yeah, that's what we grew up in Brazil. If you didn't pass, you just have to repeat the whole year again. So basically that's life. I will never get rid of school, do we? So now we're gonna go into forgetfulness of the past. Why we forget the past lives. That's what we're talking about. So let's go. It is useless to object that forgetfulness constitutes a barrier against the utilization of experience acquired in past lives. If God consider it convenient that the veil can be cast over the past, it is because it is our advantage that this be so. In fact, remembrance would be a very great inconvenience. It could, in certain cases, cause a person great humility, or perhaps make them prideful, which would interfere with their free will. In any case, it would certainly cause inevitable perturbation in social relationships. Yes, I have to say I did. Basically, I was hypnotized and I went back into a past life of mine, and I just have a glimpse of something. And to be honest with you, I'm a very open person. I tell everybody about my life, and this experience is like it was just a tiny little bit. And to be honest, I cannot tell some people in my life about, because I understood and I know what meant to be in this life. But if I tell some people that were involved, they're gonna get greatly sad and hurt, and this might influence my relationship with these people in this life. So Yeah, I keep to myself because I think there is no use to tell anybody else about it. Why you're gonna hurt somebody feelings because of that? But yeah, I think that's why we forget about other lives, because in this life we have our instincts. So we feel we're good, is in our instincts to be good, and that's what matters, is the vibrational state we are in, rather than, oh, I learned a lesson, I repeat this, and if I don't do this I don't get in trouble. I don't think that's what matters. It's not the how you choose the test. You know, when you take a test in school and you know two of those questions are not right, so I'm just gonna pick two and a 50% chance to get right. That's not what matters here. What matters here is you learn in your soul the lessons, therefore you carry with you in attitudes, and you carry with you in your heart. So when you use your instinct is good, and the answer of the predicament at the time is going to be good, and that's imprinting on you. So it's not something you just decide to do because you think it's the best answer and you're going to pass the test. No, it's in you. So this is what counts. So let's continue. A spirit is frequently born into the same ambient where it was previously lived, establishing once again the same relationships in order to replay the evil done. Recognition of these same persons who perhaps have been hated would only serve to rekindle that emotion. See? In any cases, humiliation would be felt on confronting those who had been offended. So, in order that we may improve ourselves, God has bestowed upon us precisely what we need, that which is sufficiency and nothing more. This being none other than the voice of consciousness, conscience, and or instinctive tendencies. He has only deprived us of what would be prejudicial. On, on being reborn, man brings with him what he has acquired. He is born exactly the way he was made himself. In each life, he begins from a new starting point. It matters little to him to know what he was before. If he finds himself being punished, it is because he did wrong. His actual tendencies indicate that he is still to be correct. Sorry, my dog. And it is upon he should concentrate in his attention, seeing that no trace is left of what he been rectified. The good resolutions he feels bound to make are voice of consciousness, calling attention to what is right and what is wrong, so giving strength to resist temptation. Moreover, this forgetfulness only occurs during bodily existence. On returning to the spiritual world, the remembrance of the past is regained, so it's only temporarily. A slight interruption similar to which occurs during sleep, but which does not prevent to remembrance on the subsequent day of what was done on the previous one. But it is not only after so-called that spirits may recover remembrance of the past. It can be said that is never lost. Even was incarnated existence demonstrates that during sleep, being a period when a certain amount of liberty is enjoyed, the spirit is conscious of his past acts. It knows why it is suffering and that it suffers justly. Memory is only extinguished during the course of exterior existence in life of relationships. But during the partial remembrances, which is they were otherwise, might cause adult suffering to harm social relations. The spirit absorbs the new strength in these moments and emancipation of the soul if it how to take advantage of them. So basically, is what I told you about my experience when I did a regression in the past life, and I found out a little information that okay, because when you do those regressions too, you only can see what you allowed by the spirits to see. It's not something you're not gonna see anything you should not see. So I saw certain things that yes, great. I mean, it's so it's exactly what this book say. I did because it came as an opportunity. I was looking for different answers, and part of the treatment, the spiritual treatment I was doing, which I'm very grateful for, was a regression, and I saw this past life, which explained greatly I'm why I'm here in England, why I have the family I have nowadays, which was great. But with that, I also see a little part that I didn't care to tell anybody because it doesn't belong. It's just gonna hurt people. Yet, this is the thing. Could I live without this information? Yes. Did I need this information? Does this change my life today? Does it change my attitude? Maybe a little in the better way, but it's like I say, I didn't went looking forward to have this done. It just happened. Also, I had dreams that I remember, things that were shown me by, because I asked for understand the situation, and I remember this vivid dream I have that explains something very it was very disturbing about family members. And again, stay with me because it will cause so much trouble. But for me, the answer was I understand now why something is happening. Yet, it's so in the past life, nobody here is better than anybody. We're on this planet because we've been really bad in the past life. Otherwise, we'll not be here. So this is what this book is trying to say. So why to know about past life when you just, you know, you just move on with this life and make the best you can. Basically, you don't have to. This book is great because you can understand why you are here, but you don't have to go back to look for answers in the past lives. Everything you need is here. God gave you everything you need to know in this life to make better. So it's up to us to go towards that. So I think that's the end. Not make this video very long. Like I say, I'm eager to finish this book. I never finish what I start, but this time I will. And then we can do another book. And I am reading the Book of Spirits on the side. I don't think I'm gonna do the Book of Spirits because there are many channels here on YouTube that does that book in English. I want to do something different. So when we finish this one, we're gonna jump into a very different book, and also I'm gonna look for something in English actually because I have to find the books in English. Also, I wanna to tell you that many of you are not aware of that, but we have a movie made many years ago, I think over 12 years ago, called Astro City in English. This book is this movie was made from a book about reincarnation and when you die, where you go, and what happens. And it was a book called it's called Astro City in English, and it was written by a spirit dictated to Chico Xavier, one of the mediums in Brazil, like the biggest medium. And then now there is a continuation of this movie that just came out, and is Astro City 2, which is another book that basically the title of the book translates in the messengers, but they made this continuation, and I heard great things about what it brings up. Maybe somebody was saying the visual effects are not as good, but that's not what it's about. These movies are about teachings like this. So I really recommend if you can get your hands on these movies. I don't know if they are available outside of Brazil, but they surely will be soon. So, I mean, the first one, Astro City, yes, is available. No, don't know if it's on Netflix or anything like that. Probably Amazon or YouTube or something. But the second one is brand new. So, something for you if you want to get more information, something for you to look forward and watch those great movies. All right, thank you so much. We're gonna finish here and look forward next week. Bye.